Welcome back to Clear Talk. On today's episode, I need you to take your shoes off because we're about to blow your socks off, okay? The first thing we're going to cover is the 3 hottest markets to sell coaching to right now and how to leverage it during the pandemic.
And then we discuss how to overcome the fear of criticism as a coach.
And then I'm going to get into the fastest way to create your coaching program from start to finish.
And lastly, we discuss how to facilitate breakthroughs for your clients. And me and Armin do a live role play.
She's going to be my client. I'm going to be the coach. You're going to see how I do it in my sessions privately. By the way, let us know in the comments down below what was the number one takeaway you got from this episode. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Clear Talk. The big question is, how are coaches like us who started with nothing and risked everything to build a business around helping other people, how do we consistently get clients, get our message out there online, and make a huge profit for what we do, all while making a difference in the world? That's the big question, and this show will give you the answer. So welcome back. We go live every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, or so around that 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Stuff happens, whatever. But we go live every single Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time to answer your questions, give you free coaching on your business, anything you need help with, marketing, sales, leadership, mindset, charging, anything you need, even product development when it comes to coaching, to help you grow your business, get your help out there. We're on a mission, okay? We're on a mission to help coaches help more people. Yeah, we understand when you get into coaching, you're getting into it to help people. You didn't sign up for all the marketing, sales, business stuff, which, is a big difference from coaching. Like, it's different to be great at cooking as opposed to great at building a restaurant, because those are two different skill sets. So if you want your questions answered live on the show, obviously you got to be a part of our high-ticket coaching community. You could just go to highticketcoachingcommunity.com and you can be a part of our Facebook group. You can also go to askarmin.com, which is right here, and submit your questions so that we can answer them live on the show. We have a list of questions. And also, if you're on YouTube and you like content like this, you want to plug in to get weekly content from us on how to grow your coaching business, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell. I went like this, little notification bell, so that you can be notified when we go live and also post things on our thing. Now we have, I think, 2 to 3 videos a week being posted.
Yeah.
And they're super, super valuable. I mean, there's pretty much full courses on our YouTube channel for free. So go check it out. And if you want help, obviously you could always book a call with my office and our team, and we can see if we can help you out grow your business as well. Automation, ads, building webinars, charging a high ticket price. We'll help you with all of that. So welcome back to Clear Talk.
So exciting. Obviously, guys, we were talking about whether or not we were going to be together today. But we're keeping everything distanced. We're coming together for the show, and then everyone's going about their lives so we can remain safe and keep things into consideration like that.
At the time of this recording, we're in a essential lockdown again, and so we've been working all from home every day. Most of the team isn't here, actually. It's just about 3 or 4 of us with distancing. So we're risking our lives to help you. Prepare for the comments of like, that's not right. Listen, we did what we had to. Okay. We're here now.
Yeah.
It's too late. Now let's get to the questions so we can help some people out.
Awesome.
We're not going to do a full 1-hour show.
No.
Just out of, So we're going to do our best, about 30, 45 minutes max.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep tabs. Let's go. Let's drill through the questions.
Okie dokie. Would it be beneficial to coach around something that has to do with the pandemic? I know it's not happening forever, but for now, it's all people want to talk about. For example, how to get credit during the pandemic. That question is from Anthony R.
Yeah, so that's a marketing question, not a coaching question. So you don't build an entire niche based off a temporary eventual situation.
Yeah, and I think that's important to highlight, right?
Yeah, like just because people are talking about it doesn't mean it's a profitable niche to get into. Mm-hmm. There are 3 major niches, okay? 3 major markets you can that has always worked and always will work. And not saying that little sub-weird niches here and there don't work. They do, but it's the big 3 The big 3 is health, wealth, and relationships. So if you can fit into one of those categories, there's a proven track history of offers in that market working.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like pandemic or COVID is not a niche or market. There's no problem. It's just that it's created specific problems in those markets. So in health example, if you're a fitness coach, health coach, if you're a life coach, if you're a well-being coach, spiritual coach, any type of health, wellness, where you help the person personally, so personal coaching, the pandemic has made it more difficult to work out or to stay positive. So you don't build a business around that temporary situation. You also don't niche or change your coaching business to match the temporary situation, even though it's a long temporary situation. It probably will be in history forever. I'm saying is you just integrate that into your marketing. You integrate that into your messaging. Like you talk about it. If you're in ads though, you don't, because they'll take you down. It's not compliant. But if you're in Facebook, even organically, actually, I think Facebook is really hammering down on anyone who uses keywords that have to do with COVID. So just be careful around that. But my point is, you mention it. For example, I'm about to build a whole new webinar, a new one. We've launched. I made a webinar about a year ago, and the same webinar I built a year ago, still running to this day. I haven't touched it. Has literally done multiple six figures for us in sales. Pretty crazy, and it's outdated. It's like pre-COVID.
Very, yeah.
So, power of a webinar, one presentation. Okay. But I'm going to make a new one. And in my new one, in my story in the beginning of it, I'm going to bring up COVID. I'm going to integrate what happened because I've made a decision that for the rest of our life, everyone's going to remember COVID.
Of course.
So now it is a relevant thing to permanently put into marketing.
Yeah.
Whereas in the beginning, I don't know if you remember when we were creating our webinar right around COVID started happening. We're about to launch it.
Yeah.
Last year, we're like, should we mention COVID or should we not? And at that time, we didn't know how serious it was going to be.
Absolutely.
But what if it was a fad, like 2-3 months in? Not a fad, but like 2-3 months in, everyone just stopped talking about it and moved on.
As if we.
Then it would have been done.
Yeah.
You know. But now that it's like a part of your life, like literally, there are nurses at grocery stores. That's a joke. Everyone's wearing masks. Literally, like everyone looks like they're in a hospital, right? Or just people don't touch each other. It's just this weird thing. It's like you have to integrate it in your marketing somehow. Imply it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. But try to find out what the pandemic has done to your market, and then angle your marketing to sell your coaching as a way of you've thought about it and how to fix it. But I want to create a whole offer around it. Unless your entire industry has been hit. I'm just giving an example like traditional business owners.
Yeah.
Their entire industry has been hit. So if you created a huge solution to going online for a traditional brick and mortar business or a restaurant, sure. Yeah, that's a profitable business because there's a whole market of them right now. But if you're a coach, I'm saying, and you offer coaching, like you help people, that's what coaches do, right? They kind of teach them what to do. They help them on how to do that. You don't change your business model. You don't, read the question one more time. I want to make sure I'm answering this right.
Yeah, would it be beneficial to coach around something that has to do with the pandemic? I know it's not happening forever, but for now, it's all people talk about.
And this
for example, how to get credit during the pandemic.
Yeah, and who this from?
Anthony.
So I'm assuming when you say that, like to coach around something, it means you either don't have something. So I wouldn't base a new offer off that because it's not a thing yet. Like, how do I say this? I want to create a program on how to beat COVID, for example, or like how to do something.
Because it hasn't been like solidified. Is that what you're
saying?
Not
even. It's a situational thing.
I see. Got it.
You know what I mean? It's not
temporary.
Like
it's not permanent.
Even if it's temporary, because like the moment it goes away, your offer goes away.
True.
Build an offer, a program, or an end result around something that is universally permanent. Like, everyone always wants to make money or get credit.
Yeah, of course.
But like if you create a how to get credit program.
Yeah, how to get credit during uncertain times.
You put out a marketing campaign that says
I see.
How to get that during this time too. It becomes like an angle of how you attack the marketplace so that those people that are conscious of it will come. Some people might not even care. There's a lot of people that don't care about credit or not during pandemic. They're not having any issues.
Yeah.
But if you're a person that helps with money in general, then you get the other people too that have no issues during the pandemic.
Yeah.
For example, in our market, building an online business, for me, like my offer, it didn't get affected in a negative way at all. In fact, it amplified, right? So what I did was I helped coaches who were doing in-person and live events and like a lot of this. I showed them how to do Zoom webinars and like build their business online. So I didn't build an offer around the pandemic. I built an offer around something I know people want, which is wealth.
Yeah. How
to make money is coaching. But my angle, my best winning ad right now, my top one has been running for like 7 months. I've spent like $30,000 just on that one ad angle. Just that one. That has brought us the most amount of opt-ins and book calls. That one is all around how I pivoted from live events to online.
Yeah.
And so that's a relevant marketing angle. But But I didn't build my business around the pandemic. In fact, when I was building this, the new program I offer, speaking to clients, it was pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was.
So I didn't change it. I just make sure my marketing related to it. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Hopefully, yeah. Let's go with that.
Just to clarify one last time, your offer in your program is different than your marketing. Right? Like marketing is interchangeable.
Yeah.
It's a changing variable. It always changes. You're always creating new angles, new things, new messages. In fact, you could always say things in your marketing that has nothing to do with the program just to bring them into the program.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, it's relatable, it's relevant, but I'm saying it could be a whole other angle that your program's not even based around. Example, just how to make money in general or how to get healthier. Maybe the program's about dieting or literally building a strong core. Here's a good example. There's an entire coaching program for, like, don't quote me on this, at the time that I'm recording this, I heard it was $7,000. $7,000 coaching program on how to do handstands.
Huh?
Yeah. If you believe your offer can sell over $5,000 for high ticket, and it's more complicated than a handstand, and you need to upgrade your mindset.
What?
But get this. The marketing is that they hook you in with listen. Here's what I delved deep into, because
I know Isaiah's gonna zoom in on my face for this one because what?
$7,000 for handstands. So here's why I'm bringing this up. Actually, if you think about it, I'm in a mastermind with a lot of millionaire entrepreneurs online, and one of them these guys are in. So
wow.
So when I sit around, I listen to everyone's business models. I realize what they do. Their marketing is pulling at something that they know a marketplace has a serious desire for. A lot of people will be like, yo, I want to do a handstand. They just don't expect $7,000. But look at how they pull them in. Marketing pulls them in like, yo, you could do this thing. Everyone's like, how to do a backflip. I probably sign up for a free training to learn how to do that.
I'm still trying to do a backflip.
So it's they realize their market would be, that's the most pulling, hooking thing in the marketplace. Now that's their marketing.
Yes.
When you come in and you actually watch their webinar or the training or get on the call, you know what they're selling you? Strengthening your core. Now they sell you on all the benefits to having a strong core. How you think better, your stronger muscles, you feel better, you digest better, your whole life transforms. It's a transformation program.
Okay, now I'm interested.
But see, the end result is, how do you know you're done? You can do a handstand because your core is that strong.
I see.
So there's a difference.
That.
There's a difference between outbound marketing, which is the message you say to get them in, versus what you actually give them.
Absolutely.
So you market what people want, but you give them what they need when they come in. Like even with us, in our marketing, I'm being real with everyone, right? In our advertisements, I'm really just hyper-emphasizing on getting clients and not getting clients. That's a very small thing.
Yeah.
Like whether or not you can get a client to pay you for coaching is a very small thing.
Yeah.
There is so much more to a coaching business that I don't talk about in my ads. There's
Absolutely.
the marketing of it, the clarity of it, the building the actual program itself, product development, the actual growth of an audience, the actual systematic way of scaling a company, like book calls, sales, advertising. There's so much other things that I would never put in a thing because I know that's what they need. But I know what they want is, I just want someone to pay me.
Yeah.
So there's half the market of coaches that are like, I don't even know if someone will pay me for this or pay me a lot. So okay, we validate the offer. Okay, so I talk about that in my ads. It's what you guys want to hear. How do I do that? Well, I'll show you.
Yeah.
The other one is, how do I get it consistently? So I'm making some money, but I want to actually build a system. Okay, so a presentation system works. So I put out what people want, but when they come in SGC, I give them everything. In SGC, we do everything from mindset to getting clear on your audience and market research. I turn coaches into entrepreneurs in the program.
Yeah.
Literally, you turn into an online entrepreneur. You understand the mechanics of a business and learn how to build a company.
It's very true.
That makes you financially and time free forever, right? It's like you build an asset that just pays you out forever. So I'm showing them how to grow an audience, how to get market research, position themselves as an authority in the marketplace by creating an audience growth funnel, then creating a presentation, creating a high ticket program, how to name the high ticket program, what to put it. So even becoming a good coach, like what to do in your coaching sessions, how to help your clients get breakthroughs, then how to automate that program, create a course out of it or training, then how to create the high ticket funnel, and then run the ads. And know how to run the ads in a way where you can optimize so that you get enough book calls to make 30, 50, 100 grand in a month. But do you think I would ever say that in an ad? No, it's overwhelming because the marketing has nothing to do with the offer.
Yeah.
Like, it's relevant messaging, but the actual weight of what they get is usually heavier than what you should be saying.
Yeah.
Which in reverse is another lesson for everyone watching. You shouldn't ever be selling all the features and benefits of what you do as a coach in your marketing.
Wow.
That makes sense?
What about this? Those who lie in their marketing. What about that? Like, what do you have to say about that? Because sometimes,
Give me an example.
like,
People lie in their marketing. Give me an example.
like I've worked with a lot of companies, right? And sometimes people get on the call and be like, hey, why did your messaging say this, but you're doing this actually? As in, like,
Give me an example.
You said you...
Because lying is very subjective. Someone might be like, like we don't know.
Yeah.
You said you don't use direct message to get clients. You use direct messages to get clients. You said you don't do this one-on-one session to get clients, but you do one-on-one session to get clients.
Yeah, I mean, like
What is that?
if someone, first of all, that could just be a lot of misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding. Okay.
There's a difference between like blatantly lying, like fabricating facts. Like someone running an ad be like, I made $1 million in a day, and they've never done. That's fabrication of a lie. Saying they're gonna help you do something specifically that they don't. Like, I'm gonna teach you how to get clients, and then you buy their $20,000 program, and all they're really doing is teaching you how to build the program.
Yeah.
They actually have no proven way to get you a client for the program. You pay them to build out the thing that is not selling.
Mm-hmm.
I know people like that. Pay lots of money, and all they do is build the thing without teaching you how to sell it. So what's the point of building the thing?
Yeah.
Unless you know how to sell it. It just is messed up. So that's hey. Yeah, we're in the middle of a show. Like literally right now we're live.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come.
Yeah, right in the live show.
We're
I'll talk to you
live.
after, yeah?
Look at you guys. You guys are live.
Yeah.
Have fun.
This
That's
right
Muhammad,
here.
guys.
This is our mentor, and pretty much owns the place we rent from. So
Yeah.
very close friend.
Man,
Anyways,
myth, and legend.
only he can walk in. No
Only
one.
him. Only him.
So
We're getting today's such a weird show. We're a little
it's
late. Got some talking. It's a good time.
So that's fabrication, like promising something you know you're not going to deliver. You know what I mean? So, I mean, from the get-go, those people don't last. So you don't have to worry about people that lie in marketing because they don't usually last. Their reputation gets ruined quite quickly. Their clients will leave. Their business won't last. It won't make money. After 10 clients paying them something and they realize it's full of shit, not only do they energetically repel people properly, like the scam artist will be exposed, but also the clients would just leave. Like they'll get refunds, they'll get disputes. Their business will shut down. So there is no reality where in a coaching business, I'm not talking about other businesses. I'm sure a lot of people know how to get away with scams. In coaching, it is very difficult to be a fraud. It's just very difficult because it's based on personality marketing. Like they're paying you. Mm-hmm. So if they don't like you and you're a solo person and they just dispute you once with Stripe, you're done. There's I'm just saying it's hard for them to last. Plus, they'll get drowned out by the real people that are adding value in marketing, and so all the audience will go to the person who seems way more legit than this one. Absolutely. So they will never get enough market share for it to be a problem. They'll make a little bit of money and they'll leave. Mm-hmm. And those people come like flames and they leave. So that's one. But misunderstanding in marketing is different. That's why you need coaching. A lot of coaches, they don't know how to stay clear in marketing. I'm telling you, even people in my program have this problem still. And they have a systematic way to do it. So I'm like, man, this just means coaching. If they don't get on a coaching call with me or my team on a weekly basis to review their stuff over and over, they will go off track with messaging. I'll give an example. I was working with someone that was helping people, get jobs. I have lots of people in my program that do some type of career coaching. And so I remember in one of the coaching calls, there's a very systematic training I have on how to do this. Creating an outline for a webinar, a presentation that sells every single time. And so we did a lot of market research, everything. So even though this person knew so much about the market, understands what's the end result. The end result's helping them get a job, mm-hmm. right? Or helping them transition from the job they're into a better job.
Sure.
Essentially, okay? But then I look at the outline of the webinar, the messaging of the marketing. And the first thing was about how to land a job. The name was land a job. I'm like, but look at this small detail. If you're saying how to land a job, you're talking to a whole different person than how to transition into your job, mm-hmm. right? Because I'm like, land a job is for someone who doesn't have one. Why would someone who has a job want to land a job again?
Yeah.
Transition into a higher paying job is someone who has a job. You are literally, for that one word, quantum difference of who you speak to.
Absolutely.
That is incredible. So your messaging is such an important...
Man, people, and it's not coaches' faults, because like I said, coaches aren't entrepreneurs usually. They're just artists.
Yeah.
They're good people that help people. They're good at it. Throw me in a session, I'll help somebody. I'll figure it out with them.
That's so true. I never really thought about coaches as artists, but in a way, that technically is what it is. If we're talking about anybody who's any type of artist, and we've talked about this on the show before, your training is not in building a business. Your training is in, creating an environment of change or whatever it may be, right?
That's your skill.
It's your skill.
Like coaches
you sing and you make an album, same thing.
Coaches are Justin Bieber, we're Usher.
Come on, what?
So Justin Bieber got signed by Usher. He was just a good singer, but Usher was a businessman. Understood how to make him the number one in the world.
I like that analogy.
So
we're Diddy. We're Diddy.
Yeah, we're Jay-Z. We're Jay-Z to Eminem.
Jay-Z.
Eminem.
Look at us.
We're Dr. Dre.
Oh, come on,
This is the
baby.
case, like, what do you have to say to all coaches who are always trying to figure things out? Like, I want to do a podcast. I want to do a website. I'm gonna go do.
Yeah,
this,
these are
this,
not
this,
bad
this.
things, just in the wrong time. Like, it's out of sequence. The first thing they have to do is get clear on messaging, get clear on offer. That's why it's the first thing in SGC. But what I'm saying is, like, in speaking to clients, even with our clients, like, this is not cookie cutter. You gotta develop marketing skills to some
So
degree.
true. Yeah.
Like, for the coaches, let me say this, if you're watching this. For the coaches who are like, yo, I'm just gonna delegate this. I'm gonna outsource my marketing. That's the equivalent of me saying, I'm gonna buy this car, I'm gonna outsource the driving. What?
Yeah.
Now, that's a good example because who is the only person that can outsource driving? Really, really rich people, no?
Yeah.
Pay like 80 grand a year just for the person drive them around all year. Harvey Specter. You better be making money to outsource.
Yeah.
You can pay for that. No coach starting out can afford that. And you can't afford to think that way because you'll never actually reach the point where you have the money to do that anyways.
Yeah.
You got to get good at it first. So even with our clients, like with that person I'm talking about, they go, well, I didn't even notice that one word is such a big difference. I'm like, yeah, because your messaging literally make or breaks of your marketing working. I remember the first ever webinar I did, I was trying to help coaches run seminars.
Yep.
But because it was speaking from a seminar stage, I thought I was talking to speakers, so my message was so off. My first webinar was how to become a paid speaker in 30 days or less. Now, you know what kind of people I was attracting? I'm like trying to attract coaches
Of course.
to teach them how to like do seminars and sell from stage. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking paid speaker means you get paid because you sell from stage. But you know what paid speaker means in the actual world? A TED Talk speaker or a fee speaker. I'm like, no, that's completely different to what I'm saying. My messaging though got me all the wrong people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I paid $1,000 an hour to someone who's good at doing this, who's done it time and time again, to come and just look at my landing page and in like 20 minutes, they told me 12 things I was wrong in my messaging alone. They're like, that's why this webinar isn't working.
Yeah.
You're getting offers, no one's booking calls. No one's buying anything. Because it doesn't matter how great your offer is, how great your business is, how great of a coach you are. If I'm trying to teach people how to drive and I'm marketing to a bunch of 8-year-olds who don't have a license, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So there's so many moving elements, you have to get someone who knows what they're doing. Or else you're dreaming if you think you'll figure it all out. There's too much to figure out. I'm not talking about, I want to bake cookies. I could probably figure that out. No lie, real story, I wanted to bake steak. I wanted to cook steak. I watched like one quick YouTube video, saw quickly how to do it properly. I don't want it to overcook, undercook. So I'm like, yeah, okay. I watched 30-second thing, skipped it. I'm like, I get it. I can figure that out. That is a very low complexity thing to do.
Yeah.
Matter of dry rubbing, put on pan, wait for it. Like, but here's the thing: that one difference of like a minute, more or less, is dry steak or uncooked steak.
Absolutely.
So again, I'm underestimating the power of expertise and watching somebody, right? But I'm like, I can get away with trying to figure out how to cook that steak or cook some rice. Worst case scenario, it's a little undercooked.
Yeah.
It is not the equivalent of a business. You're not doing a one-shot thing. You're not doing a one. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
it's
It's
a-
a process.
even driving you can figure out on your own because it's just a matter of a few things like move this, cook this. Okay, I get it. But some of you think it's as simple as that for a business. Let me shed some light. There are too many moving variables in a business for you to ever dream. If you've never succeeded at one before in your life, and I'll even go deeper, if you succeeded at one that's in a different model, doesn't count to this model, you're only wasting time. You're deliberately murdering time. Deliberately wasting time, energy, and money. With the hope that somehow it's going to work. And even if it works in 8 months when it could have worked in 2 months, what do you say? I'm going to make money, so by the 8th month, then I'll hire someone with the money I made from what I figured out. But then from there, someone might come in and have to make you redo everything, so you only wasted 8 months and made a little bit of money, when you could have paid something up front to learn how to do it in 2 months and made 6 months worth of money.
Yeah.
The opportunity cost,
What's that
it is astronomically higher than what you think you're saving.
Is your rant done?
incredible. What's that analogy you use with the pilot thing? I don't know.
Oh yeah, like you got a lot of people in strategy sessions. They ask us like they get nervous, like, oh, I'm about to invest this kind of money, and like I've never done this. I'm like, okay, well, if I threw you behind a cockpit of a plane, and I told you, like, turn this thing on, let's go.
Yeah.
How would you feel? But like, scared shitless. I'm like, okay, that's normal then when you're doing something new. Now, how would you feel if I told you that I'm gonna have a handle on the wheel with you? I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do every step of the way. They go, well, obviously a lot more certain. I could probably do this. I won't die. Like, yeah, and I've done this like 1,000 times. Oh, okay, now I'm better. That's what you're paying for.
Yeah. So Arvin's got a question.
And the person, by the way,
Yeah.
that says, yeah, listen, I don't want to pay you this much money to save my life. I'd rather risk it. Just get out of the cockpit. I personally, my personal, like heartfelt, loving, genuine opinion, take it with a grain of salt, is that person is stupid. There's no other brilliant way of saying it or intelligent way. You are stupid if you prioritize saving money over all of the risk of cost with doing it on your own. You know, so and like, you know why I could say that? I was stupid. I've been there. I'm not just saying from.
Yeah.
I have lived that life. I know what I was thinking back then and how dumb how I think it is now when I look back. I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, what's Arvin's questions?
So Arvin says, question, how to overcome the fear of being seen while you're pursuing the unconventional path, i.e. starting your own business. Context, thank you. She is a slightly insecure person about judgment of others with relatively low self-esteem, but at the same time has the burning desire of starting her own thing to earn income.
Is this Arvin asking about his client?
I think it's his client, yeah.
Arvin, is it your client you're asking about? Go ahead.
Arvin, you still here? Is that your client? Let us know.
You're asking for coaching on your client, right?
I think so. Is Arvin on? Can you see him?
No.
Okay. He probably just hopped back. But yeah. He might have just hopped out.
Oh,
It's a
there-
friend
He's
slash
here,
client.
he's a friend.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's either a friend or it's a client. Don't mix the two. That's a bad mistake.
Yeah.
Like, don't take a friend as a client. Don't take a client as a friend. That's what I'm trying to say. What did he say?
He said yes.
Okay. Repeat the question part again.
How to overcome the fear of being seen while you're pursuing the unconventional path, i.e. starting your own business.
Oh, I'm gonna change your life. I'm gonna give you such a short answer. You'll be like, no, it's not that simple. I'm like, yeah, it is. You ready? Make them expect it. Fastest way to eliminate fear. I really want you to chew on what I just said. What is fear? Anticipation of pain. Eliminate the anticipation by telling them to expect it. Listen, if you guys aren't taking this as a deep moment, I am. I'm hearing myself say that. That is the simplest way I've ever explained how to overcome fear.
It's true.
It's hitting me. It's hitting me as I'm saying.
It's so true.
That is an incredible way.
Yeah.
Not outcredible, it's incredible.
Because you try to avoid the pain, but
Isn't that what fear is?
It's not
Because,
incredible.
Even going on stage with 1,000 people, right? You have this. The only thing that you're nervous about is that what if this happens? So what if
Absolutely.
you feel? What if you're like, if this happens, I'm fine with it. What happens then? That's exactly what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Does the
Expect
fear
it to
eliminate?
happen.
No, just expect it, yeah.
just expect it to happen.
Like, don't falsely teach someone
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
to not be realistic.
Absolutely.
That's actually the biggest cause of failure. Yeah?
So set
They
an
quit because they thought it wasn't supposed to happen.
Absolutely. That's actually, and this is another like sneak peek into, you could say, SGC. So I get on momentum calls with our students.
What did he say?
He said he hasn't said anything yet.
Oh, okay.
Arvin, what's your thoughts? But so I get on calls with our students called momentum calls, where we just talk about mindset and what's happening with our clients on like a week to week basis, right? And I swear, last week the running theme with not everyone, but at least 4 or 5 different people was the expectations of them being perfect. Like the first draft that I make my lead magnet has to be so good. Like it can't suck. And their fear is that they're gonna get on the coaching call and Arm's gonna be like, yeah, it's crap. And I was like, yeah, so expect it to be crap. The first one's gonna be crap.
First of all, I've rarely said something's crap.
I know. That's
even if
that's
I did-
context. Armin will never say this is a piece of crap. Like this sucks. That's,
But I've done it with a few that I know like to hear it that way. But I'm saying, even if I did, isn't that why you're here?
exactly right. But the conversation was around the fact that I was like, why don't you just expect your first draft to be bad? Doesn't that just release the pressure? Expect it to be bad. You're here for a reason. You're a part of this program.
Yeah.
When you get on the call, what's gonna happen? Oh well, yeah, Armin's gonna tell me it's what to fix. So
No, you know what's
I mean,
ironic?
I guess it doesn't matter. I'm
You'll-
like, yeah, it doesn't.
The irony of it is you'll be less stressed while you do it and probably do a good draft.
Yeah.
And then coming up like, yo, it's good. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
What do you say?
He says, Armin's response is,
Arvin.
sorry. She still doesn't want to take action because of bad experiences in the past. She believes the pain could be too much though. Even expecting it wouldn't work. We've had the discussion before. She's just very fearful.
Okay, so I'm going to give you strategic. First of all, you're only responding now, so it's not like you tried what I just said. Number one. So actually go back and try to tell them, like, yeah, it's supposed to be this way. This is normal. Like, literally, this is the greatest line you can tell your clients. Oh, that's normal.
That's normal. Yeah.
I'm dying. I feel depressed. I'm going to cut my throat. Oh, yeah, it's normal.
That's normal.
You know where I learned this from? My mentors, the president of Think and Grow Rich. Every time I say anything,
learned
people are
it
like,
from
yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah, because I'm like paying it forward, yeah?
Yeah.
Every time I would say something, people were like, oh, that's easy.
No problem.
I literally came to him once. It was like 3 years ago. I was having such issues with my family. Like, like I was like this coach. I helped all these people. But at home, it was just a piece of shit. Like, I hated talking to my brother and my mom. It was just terrible. And my dad, everything. I remember I came to him one time. I was just fed up. I'm like, I'm going to move out. I'm going to live on couches. I didn't care. I was like, I don't care if I live in my car. I just don't want to go home. I'm like, this is past the line of possible anymore.
Yeah.
My mom will never change. Like, it's just not going to happen.
The line's a dot to him.
Yeah, to him, there is no line. He goes, and this is literally what he says. I go, it's impossible. Like, I'm over. It's done. Like, there's no fixing this. He goes, yeah, this is easy to fix. Just his confidence and calmness to back to me, I'm like,
What a great
how do you figure? He goes, it's very easy. Just do this. And I did it. It all worked. I swear to God, it all worked. I went back. He's like, do this. I did it. Had no issues for years.
Yeah.
Because in that moment is where that's what coaching is for, right? So he saw something I couldn't see. So his response also confide certainty in me. Also remember this, Arvin. Most of your clients, most of the time, actually I would argue every time a client comes to a coach, is to borrow your certainty in something. They're borrowing your confidence in it. So by default, you should never show uncertainty in the result, ever. Even if you're uncertain, like still like act as if inside of yourself, be like, no, it's gonna work. Because here's the thing. You're lying to yourself if you think it won't. Because we know time and time again from history, everything does work out. It all gets better. Or else we'd all be dead by now. Everyone, the world would be gone. So clearly it still worked, yeah? So being alive is just a testament to the fact that things do work out. So just believe in that part instead of all the temporary things that can go wrong. So that's the first thing. Make sure you make the person expect it. Like, listen, this is normal. Oh, it is? Well, I know, but it sucks. But yeah, but sucking is normal too. Like, it's just going to get worse. Now they go, and then they realize, oh, okay, I can't really do anything about it. So they let go of the stress. Then you plant the seed in them. Hey, listen, you need to get better though. That's something you can control. Oh, okay. Now here's the thing: if they still don't want to do it because of past experiences, this is what real coaching is. We're going to go into breakthrough coaching. As a coach, your ability, your skill comes when you have the ability to get them to a point where staying where they're at is more painful than moving forward. So your level of skill set as a coach comes in you being able to get them to eliminate the option of not doing it. When you've successfully done that, they won't need a push.
Yeah.
They'll realize they have to move. And you do that simply by asking questions to get them say things out loud to themselves to hear how bad it is to be here, or how bad it is if they keep staying here. That's why they ask questions like, you go to the highest level coach in the world, Tony Robbins. He'll ask you questions simply like, well, why do you need to change? And they'll be like, well, this is why. I'll be like, yeah, but is that so bad?
Yeah.
You don't know it's really bad. Like, what will happen if you don't change? They ask questions like this because you're trying to get them to understand how bad it is if they don't. Because both are painful. Change is painful, so is staying the same. My favorite thing to do is like with family. If my family ever comes to me and says something like, everything's so bad, but I'm like, yeah, so why don't you just like fix it? I'm like, oh my God, it's so hard to eat healthy. It's so easy to eat fast food. I'm like, I disagree. See, in the moment, I'm breaking their pattern because they probably trust my opinion. So I say something opposite and they go, fuck, I didn't think about that. You know what I say back? I'm like, I actually think it's much easier to eat healthy. Wouldn't you agree it's a lot harder to be completely depressed every day of your life and fat and never like how you are? So what I'm doing there is I'm stacking pain on where they're at. And then they look at me and they go, fuck, that is pretty good. I'm like, you're ignoring how hard it is to be where you're at. Mm-hmm. You're pretending it's not there, but it is. If you actually face it for a moment, you're like, man, this is terrible.
Yeah.
You're just used to it. Doesn't mean it's not painful. Just because I'm punching you in the face every morning for the last 20 years of your life doesn't mean it's a good thing or anymore. It's not painful. It just means you're used to it. Mm-hmm. So what you got to do is be like, look, it's gonna suck anyways, but it's hard to get punched in the face than to just learn how to dodge.
Yeah.
Like me, yeah, you got to learn something, sure, but it's not as painful as getting punched in the face every day, which is essentially what people making poor decisions do. Hope that helps, man. What do you say?
Yeah. So Arvin's response is the main underlying fear is I'm not loved or she needs the validation still. I've tried the first method in this session. Trust me, That's a good point. Pain of staying the same is more than progress.
Yeah, you have not, listen, this is no different than sales. If you can't do this, you will not be good at selling. If you do not get them to admit and to agree that where they're at is more painful than moving forward and changing, you will not change them. Same way you won't get a person to buy something from you. End of story. So the only thing you should be looking at is, how come you haven't got them there yet? That's the only reason why they're still complaining to you. They still have not understood that it's harder to stay where they're at. That's your job as a coach. What else is it?
No response yet.
You used to watch our SG sales video that we have. Because that's exactly you explain.
Yeah, go watch the sales training in Module 5, man. The same thing we do in a high-ticket script is a coaching session than a sales session.
It's true.
It's no different.
Yeah.
So I'd be asked those questions. What's the next question?
The next question is, what is the fastest way for me to finish my program from start to finish? I keep learning new things that I want to add. Rebecca L.
Rebecca, great question. Number one, make sure you don't keep thinking because you're adding stuff that's not the finished of the program. Like, I add a lot of stuff, but past a certain module, it's all bonuses. So you're not finishing anymore, you're just adding on. There's a big difference in perspective. So don't get yourself to feel like you're always never ending, because that's a mindset issue. Now you're looking at it, you're like, oh, I'm never ending. No. I got my client what they want. After that is all bonuses, number one. Number two, the fastest way I found of building a program out is to do it as I go. So I'll teach it live, like I'll sell it and I'll do it live, and as I'm doing it live, I get more information because I'm in the flow. I'll create as I go. That's the way I've done it, because it also adapts to what my client needs. That's another thing. Third thing is in terms of time scheduling, because this is a very broad question, meaning like fast is subjective. What do you mean? Is that a year? Is that a week? Are you thinking in 2 days? Because that's not possible. Depending on the program as well. Are you making it 8 week or 6 week? Is it a course? Is it a line? Like, I don't know. So I'm going to just give you generic answers because it's a generic question. So the first thing is obviously make sure you know the difference between what the result is. After that, it's all bonuses. So don't keep adding on saying this is my program. Second, is to teach it while you go and create as you go live. So as you teach it, create a module off it or something like that. Or as you teach it, create the next thing. So the way I used to sell programs is I would sell it, and then like when I finish 1 week, I'll be like, okay, what's next week? And I go with the flow of it, because naturally I'm like, what do I feel is the next step? You know, that's how I extract my knowledge. Now, once I've done a full round of that program, it's just a matter of repetition, adding more things. But that doesn't mean it's not done, it's done now. Third thing is time management, right? So the majority of the time why people don't get things done is because of multitasking. They think they can get things done by doing a little bit at a time. That is a complete illusion. I don't care if you can find me 1 out of a million people that were able to get a lot of things done by multitasking. That doesn't prove that multitasking is good. It just means one person can.
Yep.
Majority of people suffer from time management and waste of energy because they're mismanaging their time. So the way I get things done is by booking something called deep work sessions. I can't tell you the whole understanding of it. Go read the book by Cal Newport, Deep Work. And it'll teach you pretty much how to have isolated, non-distracting time to focus on one thing at a time to go into a flow state. Because when you're in flow state, look up the definition, it's literally a state of mind psychologically where a person gets more done in less time, they're more efficient. But you only access that if you do it after 60 minutes of focused time with no distraction, not even a phone like vibrating. So you gotta have phone, no phone in the room, nothing in the room, no one talks to you. You literally have concentrated for the last 60 minutes, you enter flow state. So for the next 2 hours, you're gonna get 4 times as much things done in the short amount of time. So I'll book off like 3-hour blocks to work on one thing without any distractions. Does that make sense? So that's another way to get to rapidly go through things and finish it. That's 3 quick little things to on how to build programs out.
Awesome. Arvin responded and he said, got it, good point. Do you want to take another question? We have another time. It's 1:03.
Yeah. What has it been, 30 minutes?
Why don't we end it like this? Like, even with the point where you said, like, why don't you go into a role play? A role play with Jill. Jill will be the girl that has, like, she's stuck on the pain and she wants to, like, change, but she thinks that her pain of, changing is so big, and she's like, I'll just stay there.
That's a good idea.
And why don't you use the same script so that Arvin could get, like,
what's the next question?
An understanding.
I want to know what it is.
Well, it's actually from Oscar. How is the sales call process for a Make Money online program, from building rapport to closing the sale?
I'm going to answer that by saying once you're in the program, I'll show you.
Yeah.
You're going to join anyways. Like, he booked a call. So just once you're in, bro, I'll give you way more help on the weekly coaching calls than this right now, because this has to be quicker. What happened? We're offline.
I don't think we're actually. I think it's just mine.
We're online, yeah?
I think it's just me.
Okay, cool. So, okay. So, yeah, Oscar, I'm going to help you once you become a client on your inside, like we already agree for everyone watching, he already is in. We just got to set him up. So once you're in, man, I'll help you on one of the coaching calls. I'll spend a good amount of time just showing you how to perfect the sales process. Let's do a quick role play, 5-6 minutes, so you can see what it looks like. I think Isaiah has a good point. So you can see what it looks like, how I would handle a situation with someone who's not willing to change. Okay?
Sure.
Now, I'm just going to make this up, and I might not even get the result because it's unrealistic in 5 minutes. But maybe, and don't play easy on me.
I won't.
Actually,
you get the point, bro.
Dude, do me a favor. I know how to do this. Close your eyes real quick. Go back to 6 years ago when you were depressed.
Okay.
Go back to Jeanette, who was hospitalized, in and out. Try to access her real quick. Be that person. Think that person. Believe like that person. Let the same fears and doubts and self-esteem issues come back in. While all obviously enacting. Okay, are you that person yet?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, open your eyes. Let's talk real quick. So, your problem is make up a problem for me that you had back then, that you didn't know how to get over because you were afraid of it.
Problem I had back then. Super low self-esteem. Like no self-love at all.
What was something you wanted to do that you were afraid of doing? Your fear, in a way.
Getting into a relationship, yeah.
Get into a relationship. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Sure.
So, what's the problem?
I'm unlovable.
How do you know?
Every interaction that I have with anyone who... Wow, we're really going back. This is crazy. Anytime that I love someone, they leave.
When you say every time, how many times is that?
So far it's been... This is 6 years ago? 4 people.
Can we agree that 4 people is not a lot of people?
But they're the people who mattered the most.
I agree. I understand. Did you love them?
Absolutely.
Each one of them?
Yep.
Why do you think it didn't work out?
I don't know. Maybe I put too much pressure on them. Maybe I expected too much.
Would you actually say this back then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like really going
So
there.
you already think like you're the issue.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, what if it wasn't you? Maybe, like, what if it was them? Notice what I'm doing for a moment. If I was dealing with a client like this, their issue is themselves. They're like their worst enemy. She's already stacked up a case against herself. So my job as a coach is to build her self-esteem back up by taking the blame from herself to something outside of her.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm going to keep her there because no one can live a life blaming others. But to pull her out of the rut, I have to get her to agree that it's not her fault, which is very it's weird because it's opposite, right? We get her to take responsibility after she has the confidence to handle the responsibility.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the responsibility. She doesn't have the courage to do that yet, though. So I have to make her blame everything else so that she gets lighter and goes, okay, fuck, this isn't my fault. And then when she builds belief in herself again, she goes, okay, well, like now I want to change.
Yeah. My palms are actually sweaty. Like I'm really going back.
You got to release them first. You got to You got to let them out of their own self-made prison.
Wow.
True.
I'm
Then-
really
then-
going back. Wow.
Then get them to realize why they put themselves there, but not yet.
This is coaching.
Yeah, not yet, right? Not yet. Pay close attention, guys. So what if it wasn't your fault? Like, how do you know it wasn't them?
But
What if
like,
you just attracted the wrong people? Were they perfect?
Were they perfect?
Yeah. It's a simple yes or no, gut feeling. Were they perfect? Themselves? Because you're
No.
saying you had to be, right?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: how come you think you have to be perfect, but they don't have to be? Where's the pressure coming from? Did they give it to you?
I guess I did it.
Let me ask you something. When you were growing up, who does this remind you of? Who in your life always put pressure on themselves and felt like they had to be perfect and probably relationships never worked out for them?
I mean, guess my parents.
Which
I
one?
guess my parents started
Who
it.
specifically?
Maybe my mom.
Your mom's a good person. You love her.
I love her to death. Yeah.
I asked that actually strategically because what if she goes, I hate my mom. I can't leverage her mom.
Yeah.
Or I can leverage you differently. Never make assumptions as a coach. So, how is your mom's life now? Pause. I'm creating leverage now. I'm getting her to see the consequence of being this way by
Yeah.
using her mom.
Wow. I did not see that coming.
You didn't see that coming because you were a coach, bro. But you're learning, eh? It's no different than sales.
Yeah.
Now, you can't get this deep in
Yeah.
sales.
Yeah.
It's personal.
I just want to hear this.
This person confided in me, so if they come to me like this, they're paying me for this, I have the right to go there. It's like a therapist, right?
Mm-hmm.
But coaching is more strategic. There's an end result as opposed to just me hoping you figure it out. I know I can get her.
It's like that position, like how people outbound, like how you teach your
Yeah.
coaches. It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
So where's your mom's life now? Would you say your mom has a happy life or a sad life? What would you describe your mom's life in one word? First word comes to your mind.
I love you. Okay. Stagnant.
Stagnant. I don't think she's watching. Stagnant.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Jay. Is that what you want in your life?
God no.
Why not? I don't just stop there. Why not? I need you to dig it for me now. Why not?
Because I want to move forward. I want to always be exploring, creating.
Well, what's so bad with stagnant?
Oh, it's dead. If you're standing still, you're dead.
Do you hear what she's telling herself?
Totally flipped, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see what she's telling herself? I don't need to do anything anymore. It's real coaching. I don't know what I'm saying. She's telling herself. So why do you think your mom created a stagnant life?
I'm really going here because this is actually like a breakthrough I actually had to have.
I wasn't the coach, by the way. So
Yeah, no.
this is all made up on the spot. I've never heard this.
Yeah. She genuinely set so much high expectations for what her life should have been when she came to Canada that she never pushed herself for more because she was afraid of failing. And that's my interpretation, obviously.
Got it. Now, obviously, your mom's a good person.
Yes.
She didn't want to hurt herself, right?
God, no.
She also doesn't want her life to get worse, right?
Yep.
She probably even has good intentions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what do you see wrong with how she went about things? Like, what do you see? Why do you think that didn't work so well? Having high expectations and being afraid of failing. And why do you think that didn't work out so well? She's coaching herself in third person. Eh? This is her. Well, we're using the mom
You're talking to her, though, but you're using her mom like you're
to
not.
coach herself.
Like, you're actually speaking.
Because watch, right now we're building the portfolio up of leverage, and then right at the end I'm just gonna link it to her, and she's going, watch. This is exactly how I used to do a reborn, man. Go. Some people then go, life coaching is intangible. Life, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, watch. Like, this is not tangible. You can't sell a $10,000 program showing people how to get this out of them, because this is way less expensive and valuable than just how to get a client, right? You guys like limiting beliefs, man. You guys don't believe in what you do as life coaches. You are hands down doing the most priceless thing. I could charge $20,000
Yeah.
for saving a person's life this way. Okay, so marketing, business, and making it, you guys just think everyone else's offer is better than yours. No, it's not. I could easily be selling this 4 times as more expensive than SGC. If you know how to market it in a way where they realize the value of it. Go ahead, yeah, tell me. Well, why do you think it is a bad plan, like, to do it that way?
Well, she just never, took charge. She never had the chance to.
Well, why is setting high expectations and failing and being afraid of this, how come that doesn't work so well?
So you never get out of the gate.
So let me ask you this, Jeanette.
Yeah.
What'd you say the problem was again with you?
That I was unlovable. That I set expectations on people. That I'm not gonna be in a relationship because every time I open up to somebody, every time I love them, they end up leaving or disappointment ensues.
Did you notice the similarities between your mom and your mom?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that before the session?
I Guess not.
So let me just ask you a question. Do you want to end up like your mom? She's a good person, but like, do you want her life?
No.
Why not?
Because I want to be able to, like, say I want to do something and do it, not be held back, not hold on to extenuating circumstances.
What do you think would be a good first step to changing this?
I don't know. I guess going on a date or something.
Yeah, well, like, what's
For the original issue?
what's like an opposite thing your mom would do? What's something your mom would do? What's the opposite of something your mom would do? I mean, we could start by doing the exact opposite so that you end up in an exact opposite place, right?
True.
So what's the first thing you think your mom would never do that you should probably start by doing?
I don't know. Take an action step on something I've been
Tell me one
not
thing.
doing.
Tell me one thing she hasn't been doing when it comes to relationships that you can start by doing.
Oh, communicating how she really feels.
I don't even know the answer, eh? She's telling herself. I just know how to ask to bring what up. So, what's like the scariest thing you could think about doing right now? That would really, and you honestly know inside of you would really make a difference if you got yourself to do it. That'd be progressive.
I guess telling my crush that I like them.
Do you have a crush right now?
I do.
How do you feel about the crush?
Oh, warm and fuzzy.
On a
Warm
scale
and
of
fuzzy.
1 to 10, how much do you love them? Do you
I
crush
can't
on
love them yet.
Do you crush on them? Tell me.
So it's like a solid 8.
Stack and desire. I already got the thing right.
It's like a solid 8.
Okay, cool. And can you imagine not ever telling them or having a chance with them that you like them?
Well, I can definitely imagine it. Yeah.
So what's stopping you from just going and talking to them now?
Because maybe they're not going to want me back.
How do you know?
I guess I don't know. For sure.
Well, how can you know?
I'll only know if I ask.
So what's the worst that could happen if you ask? I'm making them expect failure now, watch. What's the worst that could happen if you ask?
They don't like me back.
So what? Making it neutral. No pain anymore to move forward.
I mean, I guess they're just,
So what? What happens? Will you explode? will COVID break loose?
no,
Will there be a pandemic and lockdown?
no.
So, what's stopping you from just going to ask them? I'm reinstating the question because now they'll hear themselves say,
Fear.
I was hoping for nothing.
Yeah.
But we're going to get there.
But now you found a real problem.
Yeah. But fear of what?
Fear of rejection.
Alright, sorry, Jay, my time's up. You're going to have to pay me. I'll leave it right there. I would never do that.
One of my coaches.
Yeah, one of my coaches, sorry, your time's up. We got to leave now.
Another client coming.
That's why I don't do one-on-one coaching, bro. I don't charge per hour because then you're the intention's wrong. Because then you don't want to go over time anyways. So you said what? Fear of rejection?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means that
See, we have to find out if she even knows what fear of rejection means. Maybe it's just an idea.
yeah.
And if she goes close enough, it's like a mirage. It goes away. What does that mean? What do you mean by fear of rejection?
Like they're gonna say that they don't like me, and ergo I will be rejected. And yeah, we're not gonna date.
Okay. Well, have you ever done something off the first try yourself? Got it right the first time?
Usually.
That's your problem. You have unrealistic expectations.
I'm usually not bad at something the first time I try it.
Do you think that's realistic?
No.
No, right? So really, it's just do you think your expectation of what you expect others to be like is real? Like, or is it just? Let me give you an example. Would you say that you expect others to kind of be like you, like everything just works the first time? So everything should happen the first time, right? Should it?
Guess not.
Why do you guess not?
You're right. It's unrealistic.
Well, even if it's realistic for you, can we expect it from others?
No.
What if your crush needs you 5 times from you because they're afraid of you of actually going on a date with you? Have you ever considered they're afraid of you rejecting them if they end up going on a date with you? Switching perspective.
No, I haven't.
So how do you know they don't feel the same way about you?
I don't.
What if they're nervous? What if they also think
Yeah.
that the first date with you that they say yes to has to go perfect or else you won't see them again? Isn't that the same thing you're doing to them by not even asking?
Yeah.
So what do you think you need to do?
I think I just need to tell them.
And you tell them, let's say they say no. They don't actually like you. Then what?
I mean, I guess I know.
Yeah, but then what? What do? You quit? Never ask someone out again? See, I'm making them expect how they should handle this. Would you just quit and never ask someone out again?
No.
I mean, I'd understand if there's only 5 men in the world. How many men do you think there are in the world?
Billions.
Right? So, what's the problem again?
That I'm unlovable?
Are you?
No.
How do you know?
Because I can't prove it. So I guess I'm not.
See, most coaching is like getting them to just wake up.
Yeah.
This is like one to many right here, bro. As you're talking, I'm having my own.
You have your own breakthroughs? Isaiah asked for him.
This is
Yo, hold on,
right?
Arvin. Is this for Isaiah? Did you ask on his behalf?
Armin's so good at this,
Like,
man.
I'm having my own, like,
Yeah,
this is what you mean by one to many. Like, you know, this is even good for me as a salesman.
You're watching it again, breakthroughs.
Yeah, like, while you're talking to her, I'm actually, like, saying, why do I feel like, why don't I just, what's the most important? So as soon as you got to the point, I'm like, nothing. There's nothing holding me back.
Most people are afraid of something that doesn't exist.
A billion women out there because I'm like, whoa.
You're putting too much power into this thing, eh? Now, I can't come in and be like, you are an
That was
ultimate
incredible.
being. You are universally energetic and like, no.
Yeah.
That's where I am at. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
But if I'm talking to a person at this level of consciousness where they have so many things blocking them from being awake and intelligent,
Yeah.
then I just got to make them intelligent by making them think about it. See, here's the thing. Most people don't take their own initiative to think deeply about something. So a coach makes you do that by asking questions. That's literally what you're doing. You're making them more conscious.
Yep.
Because once you're conscious, you realize there is no problem in anything. In fact, in the very moment, there's really no problem. Ever.
Yeah.
For example, you might be like, I have $100,000 in debt and people are after me right now to kill me. I go, okay, but Jay, right now in this very moment sitting here, what's the problem? Go, I have these people. I'm like, yeah, it's happening. But right now in this room, what is happening? No, nothing. Okay, so you see, in the conscious moment, there's really no problems ever. But we create and we stay in a problem in our head, and that's where coaching comes in. Because you pull them out by asking a question. It's like hooking them out of the water. Yeah.
Jeanette
So-
from 6 years ago was so sad.
Yeah.
I love
You should have seen me one session. I would have been like this.
Yeah, I'm
So,
I'm sort of one to many.
I hope that's a good example. What I just did was not only make her think deeply about it, but I also got her to neutralize fear and neutralize the pain of it
Yeah.
by making her realize like, oh, it's not a big deal. And I didn't tell her to think it. I just asked her questions that made her think it. And the better I get at asking questions, right, Arvin, and the better I get at strategically knowing what to ask, the better coach I become, the more I can charge.
Yeah.
Because I get the question done, the result faster, which is the breakthrough. So if I can get the person a breakthrough where they walk away going, oh my God, I know what to do now, or I don't feel this anymore, I can charge whatever I want, depending on the value of what that result is. So in this case scenario, I also, I didn't even have to get into well, I was going to ask you next if you are still stuck with me. I'd be like, well, let me ask you this. Let's say they're both really bad. Which one's worse? And you would have to think about it. And if you turn around and said, honestly, it's way less worse to be alone for the rest of my life than to actually go and get rejected, there's 2 opportunities I have here. One is to challenge that, obviously, by stacking up the pain of how bad it's going to be because they're just naive and don't realize how bad that is. But then again, my opinion's getting in the matter.
Yeah.
Because what if they actually do feel like, yo, it's way easier to be alone,
I've got a breakthrough. This is so awesome.
right? But the second opportunity is I could just make them feel good about that idea. Now, this is very deep. This is more thinking or rich than it is coaching. I want you to listen. If she said, well, I'd rather be alone for the rest of my life, I have already prepared myself for that. I'm happy about that. I could actually elevate them and go, that's a very good thing. Good
That's
for you.
Jeanette right now.
Yeah, I know. So I could turn around and be like, man, I'm really happy for you. Do you feel confident in that decision? She would have been like, yeah. Honestly, I even have a plan on how I'm going to be without a man. So I don't need a man. I'm like, good for you. Most women, they in a whole lifetime don't even get to the kind of confidence you have in yourself with this decision. And now she's going to walk away going, man, I'm on a good track. Here's what's going to happen, and this is my wisdom in life. She's going to go 5 years into this idea, knowing that I helped her, like, encourage her. So she has validation. She goes, okay, I could do this.
Yeah.
5 years in, her natural part of her humanity will come out and be like, man, I want a person. So it's not my job to change them in the moment. 5 years in, they'll be alone in the condo with their dog and their adopted, son, and they're going to be like, man, I would really love some romance. And naturally, that desire will come to them because that's the right time for them to want it. Because right now, they want something different. So there's two options in coaching. This is more advanced and more deeper in technique. But it's like the integrable thing of doing. Not always do we have to change the person unless they came for that specific change. Sometimes, though, I had one client specifically, confidentiality, no names. They came to me and they were referred to me by their wife or something like that, or like a coach that couldn't fix them or something. They're like, can you fix this person? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. So they came in. I didn't even charge anything. I'm like, I'm too busy. I'll just do one session, help them out. I sat down for 45 minutes as they explained to me how their whole family's putting pressure on the husband. Whole family's putting pressure on them. And I just listened. And all I really heard was this guy is really okay with what he does. And it's not even that bad. Like, he smoked some weed. Like, I mean, like, which weed ever killed anybody? It's not like he's doing...
Which weed?
I'm like, what weed ever killed somebody? Like, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's a good or bad. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying the level of what he was doing was not even that difficult. It was just preference that the wife didn't like it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's hurting the marriage because the wife doesn't like it. But in that case, the question in my head is like, is he the problem or is she the problem?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I go really deep. I listen to everything for an hour. And honestly, I could tell from the way he talked to me, he had no issue with what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in a battle with everyone around him
Yeah.
who were trying to change him. And I'm like, man, this poor guy is just trying to be, like, he's happy being the way he is.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying the way he is good, because he was out of a lot of issues. But I'm saying this guy hasn't reached a point where he thinks it's a problem, which is the big problem.
Yeah.
But the problem is everyone in his family is not a coach, and they're trying to get him to see that it's a problem. And he's like, sure, yeah, okay. But inside he's like, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So you know what I did? Is I completely reversed the coaching session. I didn't try to change him. I just said, so what's the problem? And he goes, what do you mean? I go, well, all I heard is that you're doing this stuff. Like, I don't see the problem with it. I became on his side. And he goes, I mean, yeah, like, he was just waiting for someone to agree with him because he felt alone. I mean, yeah, like, yeah, I guess I don't know. Like, it's bad. I mean, how do you know? Because my family says that. I'm like, that's just their opinion. I'm reinstating him again, putting the blame out on himself because he's being hard on himself because of his family.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like, I don't see anything wrong with what you're doing. All I hear is really you're just doing nothing and everyone just doesn't like how you're doing things. Who cares? And man, I could hear this guy's voice like, oh, yeah, you're right. Honestly, like, I myself am fine. That's a breakthrough. Because at least what I'm doing is I'm getting him to feel okay again so he's not busy being stressed so he can actually think about what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing is maybe months down the road, because he's reinstated his own, like, confidence, he might be like, I don't want to do this stuff anymore, naturally. But in that moment, it's like, even if you get him to change, he'll go back, because he never got sold on himself on why he shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
He was still sold on why it's okay to do it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So it's an advanced version of, like, trying to encourage them towards staying there, because naturally having faith that they'll change. But I don't, because I'm not teaching anyone to do anything specific. I'm just saying I've done this in certain scenarios and it works. Because I realize the psychology of the person is not ready yet.
So it's like you release them, then you feed them.
You catch them on the other
ask
end.
them questions to let them understand exactly what you're saying.
Example, I've had a lot of people I've helped quit smoking. And in the moment, they're like, they have all these benefits of why smoking is good. I'm like, all right, keep doing it, man. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, so what do you want? But, I want to become a millionaire. I want to become successful in business. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'll coach them in that, and I'll make sure I strategically put them in a place where eventually the smoking becomes an issue. So I'm like, hey, man, like, how come you weren't da-da-da? He goes, I'm a little drowsy. I'm like, look, the smoking's taking time away. You're losing money. Now they go, no, I can't lose money. They let go of smoking.
Your desires. You follow what they're saying. Also,
It's gotta be a desire.
I pull the desire through it so they shed on the way.
Exactly.
It's like you think of a rocket ship. The higher in altitude it goes to break out of the atmosphere, the less weight it has to carry, so it breaks off parts. You've ever seen the movies? So it breaks off parts. So by the time it gets to space, it's just one long rod, and that's where the people are. Transformation is the same thing, where you got all this baggage. So as you're going up in altitude, the coach has to know what parts to take off at one time. There's a sequence to it. You can't just take off fucking everything halfway through. You got because some of those things are necessary to get to a certain altitude.
Yeah.
So you got to see that sometimes people. Oh, this is so
They really still
deep.
need it. It's actually
This
very
is. Well, I think we just reached the middle of the earth. We passed the Mariana Trench. As I'm saying, I'm like, damn, this is a deep analogy to understand psychology. some of the baggage people have are actually useful.
Yep.
That's why we keep it. So as they go up, they get a little bit of momentum. We need to use some of that as leverage. Keep it there because it keeps them sane. But as you go higher up, they're going to realize from their desire pulling them upwards and higher up out of where they're at, rock bottom, they're going to naturally be like, yo, I can't have this anymore, and they shut it off. They naturally will get rid of it. They're like, I can't do this anymore. So I have so many people that quit smoking naturally. It's like they didn't even have to try because they reached a point in their life where it's not even room for it.
Yeah.
As opposed to me trying to change them when there's no reason to yet.
Mm-hmm.
So the real goal of a coach is like, at least my goal with every client is to shoot them out of the atmosphere so they can like escape, you know? So that was deep with deep. Hashtag deep in the comments. Any comments? Because we got to finish off.
Arvin just said I got a breakthrough too. I know how to facilitate the next session now. Good stuff. Good stuff.
And speaking of clients, we don't just tell you how to get clients. We teach you how to break them through as well.
Ooh, we love a good role
Tell me one
play.
program teach. I've spent at least probably $120,000 now in coaching programs where they teach you how to build a business so I can see what others teach. I can get better at what I do.
Yeah.
Nobody teaches you how to actually be good at the thing you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first. Back to you, Jim.
What you're about to see is a Channel 4 News exclusive. His name is Nutty the Squirrel, and he's 3 years old. How about that? That squirrel can water ski. Oh.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
For all of us here at News Center 4, I'm Ron Burgundy. You stay classy, San Diego.
Obviously, guys, like as Armin said even before we started that role play, right? Don't be discouraged if you don't get a result with somebody in the whatever 10 minutes that we talked. Remember, I've also had years of coaching. A lot of that was already predetermined. I just answered them based on Armin's questions. So practice them. Pay attention to it. Pay attention to the process, not as much as the time that it took to get to there. You know, sometimes you might have to ask you some questions. Sometimes you're going to have to adjust. Armin has a lot of expertise, and I've also had a lot of coaching. So take that into consideration when you start this, okay?
Cool. Well, thanks for tuning in to Clear Talk. I'm your host, Armin Shafi. This is my co-host.
Jeanette Oduro.
And this was a live role play as well for you guys on how to actually coach. Maybe we could cut this out and make it a marketing video on its own just to help coaches understand what it looks like.
Absolutely.
And then bring on the heat of all the other coaches probably disagree with my method. I'll be waiting for you. Because by the way, which goes back to the first thing, which your client actually has an issue with, Arvin, which is, I'm afraid of being seen and blah, blah, blah. Listen, it's a part of the game.
Yeah.
You follow multi-hundred-millionaire entrepreneurs. They still talk about how they deal with criticism. There's no level at where you eliminate. The only way to avoid criticism is to do nothing, so no one hears about you. So if you want to do something, just expect it, okay? So we go live every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want your questions answered on the show, go to askarmin.com or go to High Ticket Coaching Community. Join our Facebook group, High Ticket Coaching Community, so you can be a part of the lives as well. We release new videos every single week on YouTube, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell, so that you get notified every time we release a new video. By the way, if you want help with growing your coaching business, if you're tired and fed up of wasting time, energy, money, uncertainty, guesswork, like if you're just tired of that crap, you want to just get to the result as fast as possible in the shortest amount of time with certainty, then go ahead and book a call with our office at speakingatclients.com/book-call now, and let's talk to you for free so we can find out if it's fit to work together. We love you so much. Go on and make the rest of your week the best of your week.